Good afternoon. Hi, Dan.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to part two. Welcome to part two. So I'm wondering if those of you that have remedies, have you been using them? Anna, have you been using your remedies? Your Narayani remedies?
Still trying to choose.
Okay, anyway, I'll just also share with you what I've been doing with myself, trying out the remedies. So anyway, welcome to Narayani Remedies Part 2. So we'll continue where we left off with the mixes, and then we'll go to the Soham remedies, and we'll probably be able to finish until the organo remedies today, or hopefully the balance remedies as well. And then that should be good enough for you guys to get started with it. The ones I haven't really um, been trying on its own are the meridian remedies and the chakra and the color remedies. So that is, I use it to supplement depending on what I feel the chakra is involved in a particular condition. So for those of you that are only joining today, these Narayani remedies are from Swami Narayani, and she um, was a nun from South Africa. When I say a nun, not a Catholic nun, she belonged to a group that would go around South Africa and treat people for free, especially the underprivileged. And because they were seeing thousands of people a day, they started to make combination remedies so that they can treat people faster. So this is the closest thing we have to homeopathic over-the-counter remedies. And if you want to know more, just Google Swami Narayani. There's quite a bit of material about her online. These remedies are found mostly in Europe, India, and South Africa. You can barely get these remedies in the States, unfortunately. So my friends there in the States, they have to bring it in from London, from South Africa, from the Narayani website. So anyway, I'm going to share the mixes with you. So let's get started right away. I think we stopped 90, no? I think it was 90.
91.
Was it 91?
Wait. Yeah, 91.
So just to share with you what I've been trying with myself is the first thing I start with, just because I just want to do an overhaul of my system, I start with the blood remedy mix 2. Because a lot of us have disordered blood cells anyway. Those of you that have gone to an integrative doctor and had your blood analyzed, you'll find that our blood cells are irregularly shaped or thin. They're not really healthy. And that's just because we live in an environment that's not as healthy as it was before. So I start with a blood remedy for maybe 2 weeks, taking it twice a day just to clear out the system. And then if you have anemia or if you have anything wrong with your white blood cells, red blood cells, of course you can stay on it much longer. And it always helps to get a blood test before and after just to see how you're doing. So there's some people I know that have anemia, low grade subacute anemia. I mean, they're living with their anemia. So this is a good remedy to try. If you do have subacute anemia, you can do up to 3 times a day for 21 days, 30 days even. And then I do KBS, which is a kidney cleanse. So that I do for maybe twice a day for another 2 weeks just to clear out the kidney. So what we're doing is we're just clearing out some old layers, some toxins from the body, and we're just revitalizing the organs. And then after that, I'm still in KBS, but after that, I plan to do the liver mix from the mixes. So I always start with the mixes before Soham and the balance remedies. Because if you look at the mixes, these are homeopathic combinations of remedies itself. Whereas if you look at the Soham mixtures and the balanced remedies, you will find that a lot of it has other mixes in it as well. So I find that the mixes are more concentrated forms of different homeopathic remedies. So I find that it's a good place to start. And then I go to the Soham mixtures after. But anyway, let's finish where we left off, 91. So 91 would act like aconite. Anytime that there is shock to the system, an accident with injury, hemorrhage, you can use the paramedic rescue. And it's 50 m. And even if it's 50 m, you can still give it quite often. Here it says even every 5 minutes, especially if they're in a state of shock or collapse. You can give it as often, and then as you notice the body's vitality improve, then you can taper off or put a bigger gap in between. So this one you can use like aconite. This can also be in any first aid kit. And then we have the post-nasal drip. So this is a combination of many different remedies. The top differentials for post-nasal. It has calibic, it's got natrum arsenicum, so it's a combination of natrum mure and arsenicum album, which are also two good remedies for post-nasal drip. I actually give this as a support for people that I'm already giving, let's say allium or some other remedy for their chronic post-nasal. I give this as a background support as well. Or you can give this when you can't decide what's a good remedy for their post-nasal drip. This is a good remedy for clearing out some layers. So when we use mixes, you'll find that it will take certain conditions up to a certain level. And then after that, you will still have to go to the indicated remedy. But then the picture becomes clearer to you on what remedy you can prescribe for a particular symptom. So it's a good starting point. Sometimes it may even resolve. But what I find is if we really want to clear layers, we still should give the indicated remedy. What mixes do is it clears the background. It makes the picture clearer. And it also supports the patient in terms of increasing vitality. You also don't want to lose them by giving the wrong remedy and then nothing happens. So if you give a mix, one of the mixes, and they improve 10, 20, 30%, they're more likely to allow you to give them other remedies because they feel an improvement. But you should always follow up whether or not it is resolving the case. So prostate mix also would be a good support. There's Sabal, Cerulata, there's even Sepia for men is also a good prostate remedy. But this can be a good remedy as you're deciding what to use, or as a background remedy if you're already giving the indicated remedy for the prostate. And this pterygium is for growths in the eyes. So this one has thiocinaminum. So this is good also for cataract, scar tissue. But we already, I think, went through some cataract remedies, some cataract mixes that you can also try. Rescue Plus, this is like a rescue remedy. So this is the Narayani version of the back rescue remedy. It's got aconite. It actually even has the back rescue remedy in it as well. Also natmur, which is a good emotional remedy. So anytime there's emotional shock or fright, they may have witnessed something that brought their vitality down or that gave them some trauma, you can give them this Rescue Plus. I find it stronger than just giving rescue remedy because it has other back remedies mixed in it, like cherry plum, Star of Bethlehem, impatience, rock rose, which are good back flower remedies for emotional distress. Scar tissue. So scar tissue also has thiocinaminum, silica, hydrastis, graphites. These are remedies that are good for keloids. It's also good for internal scar tissues. It's also good for people that have had skin conditions that left them, like for example, they had measles and they're left with a lot of pock marks. This one, because it's a low potency, you can give it over a long period of time. Sometimes it's even months. And it says here you can give it with drawing mix. Sometimes our scars still have pus under that could have been hardened, and silica would draw this out. So you can mix it with drawing mix. But be very careful when you're giving drawing mix, as we discussed before. If they have a lot of lesions over their body, all over their body that are still active, you don't want to exacerbate it by giving drawing mix. So only when you can give drawing mix when the lesions are only on a small concentrated part of the body, but not when it's, let's say, psoriasis all over the body, or Steven Johnson syndrome, which is also all over the body. Sciatic mix in 10M, it has hypericum, simicifuga, these are all good spasm mix. And it also has sciatic nerve, which is a rate. It's a Tansley rate for the sciatic nerve, which is a nerve running down our back into our thighs. Shingles, herpes zoster. So this has the nosode of the shingles, variolinum, plus it has hypericum, which is one of the top remedies for nerve pain from shingles. And then it has penmycin for infection. And antart. Antart is a good remedy for weeping lesions, especially if it has clear to honey-colored discharge, not pus. Because with shingles, you'll see that the discharge is either watery or yellowish. It's not pussy or bloody. So here it also shows you what you can mix it with. Like if they're in a state of distress, you can give them also calming mix, stress balance. Because anyone with long-term shingles will not be in a very healthy frame of mind as well. You can mix it also with the immune system mixes. Here, sinus 6x. So you can give this also together with the other remedies. We discussed some chest remedies earlier in the last talk. You can add this to the chest mix or the asthma and cough mix. So this is a good background support for anyone with chronic sinusitis. And sometimes when you look at these mixes, it will also give you the top differentials that you can try on its own or together with, like maybe a stronger potency or a higher potency. And then you can add this as a background remedy. So as you can see, it's 6 times a day if there's a chronic sinus condition or allergic rhinitis, for example, because it's an X potency, you have to keep repeating it. And then we have the skin remedies. This one I've been using quite a bit, especially Skin F and Skin H. I think there's a typo here. Skin H should actually be 101. So Skin F, I give it when there are open lesions, meaning they're weeping, they have discharges. So instead of the drawing mix, I give this first for eczema, for blisters that are weeping. Sometimes I give it together with the herpes mix just to heal it first. And I don't give the drawing mix yet. Sometimes it's months after pa that I'm confident enough to give the drawing mix only when the lesions are dried. So if the lesions are still open and weeping, then you can give the Skin F remedy. And anyone that has a autoimmune issue with the skin, like psoriasis or eczema, I always give immune support. And also adrenalinum. Adrenalinum seems to help a lot with the skin as well. Adrenalinum is a sarcode of the adrenaline gland. Skin H naman is when it is dry. So you have to look at the eczema. Sometimes it's weeping, and some people have eczema that's just dry, scaly, and itchy. And if that's the case, then I mix Skin H with Skin Itch together. If it's the dry kind of flaky eczema. And a lot of times the itching has a deeper cause. So this skin itch will not resolve the itch per se. It may, you always have to look what is the root cause of the itch. Sometimes it can be the liver, sometimes it can be the thyroid. These are the two organs that we can also cause itching in the body. Stings and bites, 10M. This one I find quite effective, especially for sand fleas or the ones that bore into the skin. And even if it's 10M, don't be afraid to give it often enough. And I've used this as a topical spray and it's been quite effective. Maybe every 2 hours, every 3 hours, and it tends to dry it up faster. So don't be worried if you see 10M, 50M. It's quite safe even to give frequently. So here it says, stings and bites, you can do external and internal as well. Okay, so for TOPS is a combination of different back remedies as well as some homeopathic remedies. And you give this for kids that study too hard or those that have brain fog. Back in the day, it was known as brain fag in the old materia medicas, but now they use the more PC brain fog. So cramming for an exam, older people that just want to prevent Alzheimer's, dementia, keep their mind sharp, you can support them with these tops. And also for those that are complaining of poor memory. And then the following remedies we have for different cancer conditions. I give this as a support for people that are on chemo or people that are on radiation, people that have been diagnosed with cancer. With cancer, it's always a holistic approach. I don't judge whether or not they choose to do radiation or chemotherapy, but should they choose it, then there's so many homeopathic remedies that you can give as a support. And Viscum album is one of the top remedies. It's actually mistletoe. Mistletoe is one of the top remedies to give as cancer support. So this Viscum album, the first one, they have several combinations. So the first one is more of a general. So it's for chronic conditions. This one, the first one is for um, females for any part of the body except respiratory and skin. And then the second one, the Viscum album 106, is for ovarian cancer, cervical cancer, uterine cancer, any reproductive cancer for females, because there's also 107, which is specifically for male, but not for skin and respiratory. Okay, so remember that there's a female and a male Viscum album, and there is specific for reproductive organs. So we're talking about prostate cancer or ovarian cancer. And then 108 would be the more general Viscum album for respiratory and skin naman, thyroid or any organ that is not reproductive. So you just have to differentiate from 105 to 108 which Viscom album remedy to use as a support. And then 109 is vision. So this is good to support circulation in the eye, especially for macular degeneration or cataract. You just want to make sure that the area around the eyes are energized. You know, it has good vitality. So Hamamelis arnica, this is good for circulation of the blood around this area or to clear any blockages or clots in the eye. Sometimes they have red eyes, or you can see the veins in the eyes. So this is good for that. Okay, SAC. So SAC, there's two kinds. There's the 3X and 10 mm. SAC is a type of tea that is very good for cancer as well. And this is the homeopathic version. So you can look in iHerb and you can buy the SAC tea. This one has all the ingredients, but the homeopathic version of all of these sheep sorrel, burdock root, yellow sock, all of these kinds of healing herbs. And for the 3X, you can give it together with the 10 mm, and usually the 3X is given 3 times a day, and the SAC 10 mm is once a week. So this provides nutrition. And with people with cancer, it's very important that they don't go into cachexia. So what usually gets patients with advanced cancer is that their body stops assimilating nutrients that they eat. And this is normally what causes their demise even before the tumors can spread around the body. So if you can keep them healthy in terms of when they eat, they can put on weight, they're not losing too much weight, then you're on the right track. Like I have a friend that I keep mentioning him. He's been living with stage 4 cancer, I think going on 10 years or more. And he tried chemo twice, he didn't like it. So now he just eats well, he's on supplements. I mean, he still drinks alcohol, he still has his jamon serrano once in a while. But he's just making sure that he doesn't lose too much weight. So he's very good with the supplements and the juicing and all of this to keep up his vitality. Once in a while, he'll have lesions that'll come out, like tumors will pop out here and there. And maybe he'll have some removed or some will heal on their own. So having stage 4 cancer can also be just a frame of mind. If you, a lot of people are living with it instead of treating it as a fight or a battle. When we declare war on something, then it's either it's a win or loss type of situation. But if you learn to live with it, then chances are of survival are much, much better. Okay, portal clearance is another remedy I give quite a bit to clear layers, because what this does is clears a lot of congestion in certain parts of the body, especially around the sacral area. So the spleen, the pancreas, the portal veins going in, like hemorrhoids, varicose veins, these are caused because there's congestion, sometimes even constipation. This is caused by congestion in this area. And I also add the sacral remedy, the Narayani Chakra remedy for the sacrum to clear this pelvic area. Also, for people with lower back pain, hip replacement, because these injuries to the back, you can't help but this area gets congested anyway because of this injury. Sometimes you don't know, it's a chicken and the egg. Did the congestion cause the back pain, or did the back pain or injury cause the congestion in the area? And a lot of times they have concomitant hemorrhoids, constipation, sciatica. So this clears this area, allows the blood to flow. And once the blood is flowing, then chances of that area being healed are much faster. So it's also a very good remedy to give people that you're not sure yet what remedy to choose for them, but you know that they could use some clearing in that area, because a lot of times it's already so many compounded issues. There's hemorrhoids, there's constipation, there's varicose veins, there's PCOS, there's PMS, because it's all congested in the sacral area. Inflammation 30. So this is also a good remedy to give in any situation where you might have inflammation, just as support. And this helps the blood flow, because we all have some kind of subacute sepsis as well. You know, as I was mentioning earlier, that's why I start with the mixed two blood, is because our blood is not as healthy as it was maybe when we were younger. So this kind of disordered blood, subacute type, will cause inflammation in the body. So also a nice remedy just as a clearing and support. Okay, so here we have elimination. That's 114. So this is any time that you have a pus situation. So whether it's in the sinus, whether it's from a boil, um, whether it's from acne, you can give the acne mix and elimination as well. Just make sure that when you're giving drawing or elimination, because elimination has the drawing mix in it also, is that it's not lesions all over the body. It's concentrated either in a boil, it's concentrated in a lymph node, it's concentrated in the sinus, because then that would help to clear that area. 115, venereal mix. Also, a lot of people have subacute venereal infections without even realizing it. And this can cause later on in life uterine cancer, cervical cancer, and so on. So this is a good remedy to clear out that layer. And as you can see, it's really packed with all kinds of nosodes like syphilinum, medarhinum, chlamydia, and even the AIDS. But you have to remember that this AIDS, these are all Tansley rates, meaning it's the vibration. There's a school of homeopathy that goes just by vibrations. Like, let's say PC1 is a remedy that they made from. They didn't actually get the active discharge of somebody with AIDS, but they got people with AIDS to sing and put their vibration into some bananas that they were mashing. And then from there, they made the remedy. And then we have malaria, extra strength for those with malaria or those who have had malaria and never improved, never been well since malaria. And then the last mix is the anti-smoking remedy. So it's got a lot of Tansley mixes, kick the habit, addiction to tobacco. I actually gave this to someone and she managed to quit smoking. You have to remember when somebody quits smoking, they're going to have, it's like releasing a suppression. So they're going to start having a cough. They're going to be spitting out a lot of brown stuff because this is their lungs getting rid of all of the smoke that's just been stuck there, or a subacute infection caused by the many years of smoking. So this is what happened, that she developed a cough that wouldn't go away and kept spitting out. So I just supported that with Nuxvom after and phosphorus until the cough resolved. So this is what you can expect when somebody quits smoking. Okay, so we're done with the mixes. Yay. Okay, so next one is, let's go to the Soham. Soham remedies. You will all receive a recording of this. So for those that came in late, you will receive a recording. Thanks to Michelle. Okay, so Soham mixtures, it's an interesting set of mixtures because here we see in South Africa, in India, they have the same kind of beliefs and issues that we have here in the Philippines. And that is carrying of entities or spirits and psychic interferences. So this Soham removal of entities is for all of these, like psychic poisons, mental poisons, self-destructive patterns. I have given it to people. I have given it, but not as a main remedy, because a lot of times when they have these psychic conditions, or maybe they're carrying some entities, they already have physical manifestations, and I still treat the physical manifestations. Like recently it was somebody with a frozen shoulder, but it turns out that there was what they call capit, right? So you can use this as support with divine. The first few Soham remedies are all for this. So there's divine protection, there's soul cleansings, and then there's peace and love alignment. And what I've actually done is I've mixed 1, 2, 5 in one bottle, and then this is what I take sometimes when I consult with people that are really heavy, or I'm exposed to a situation where the person is really heavy to be with, the type that drains your energy, psychic vampires that they'd say. Then I'm spraying it, or I go to a place and I feel that there's something there, then I spray it all over the place as well. So I don't know if it really works, but it seems to make me feel better, and that's enough for me. So I find this a very interesting set: removal of entities, divine protection, soul cleansing, stabilizing, peace and love, and alignment. They even have meditation. This one I haven't tried yet. I wonder if you could just take a remedy for meditation instead of actually meditating. Stress, I've given it to people, but I also combine it with whatever the manifestation of their stress is, because stress is an etiology, it's a cause. And by the time that they come to you, of course, they would already have, let's say, migraines or some kind of physical expression of that stress. So this can be good background remedies if you're suspecting in your clients or patients that they might have capit or um, psychic interferences. Okay, Soham, insomnia. So relaxing, calming stress. This one I give together with the mix for sleep as well. And then there's also a calming mix in the mixes set. So I start out with sleep, and if it's not really helping, then I add calming, because a lot of times people can't sleep because they're still nervous or their mind is still racing. So this is where you can add these relaxing remedies like the calming mix or this Soham insomnia. So as you can see, these are not really homeopathic remedies, but vibrations of situations. Lack of confidence, 50M. This one I have not tried this, but it would be interesting to give it to somebody that's studying, or somebody being bullied in school. If any of you have any experience, please share if it's really helped the person or the child with this lack of confidence mix. And then there's the spiritual upliftment. I have given this remedy as well, together with some other removal of entities and all that. I've given this to people with manic depression, because sometimes I find that it's not just their situation, there's something else there affecting. It could be also, possibly a past life issue, possibly a deceased loved one that's still hanging on. I mean, just mentioning it here, but yes, this can be part and parcel of the healing process as well. And when we go to the new age remedies, you'll see that there really are very specific remedies for past life, especially in the lineage of the family, where there's a lot of mental illness, where there's a lot of alcohol and addictions. It's a miasm that comes from a past life as well. So I think until 14, Soham 1 to 14 are the more esoteric type of remedies. It would be interesting to add this also to your protocol. And this can be added to any protocol because it's not really a homeopathic remedy per se, but a nice, good support remedy to increase their vibration. Okay, then we have Soham 11, which is a blood pressure remedy. And it says here you can use it with the Soham circulation and the Soham kidney. And with blood pressure, it's very important also to revitalize the kidney because kidney is water balance. And high blood pressure also can be caused by an imbalance in the water of the body. That's why people with hypertension take diuretics. I don't know if I think we discussed also the water balance mix that you can add also. If they're on a diuretic, regular diuretic, then you can support them with the water balance mix as well as a Soham kidney mix. So when you're treating somebody with hypertension, cholesterol, do not have them withdraw from their medication. Very, very important because um, something can actually happen to them, right? So what I normally do is it may take months and even years of support before we can wean them completely off their medication. And usually it's homeopathic remedies. We start with homeopathic remedies because a lot of them are not ready to do the dietary changes. Some are, but some aren't. So if in a couple of months you're seeing that they're maintaining a steady blood pressure, they have no spikes, they have no incidences of palpitations or anxiety, then you can cut the medication maybe by 1/8 or 1/4. And then keep them on that and then get them to change their diet. So when you wean, it's very, very slowly. If not, you can be responsible for something bad happening. So wean very slowly. And I have had some patients that are willing to make these kinds of lifestyle changes. And maybe after a year, we were able to withdraw them completely from their hypertension medications. Or if it's still early on, they had a few incidences of high blood pressure, they went to the doctor, and the first thing they'll give you, of course, is high blood pressure medicine. If it's still early stage, then you can put them on the remedies and defer if it's not so bad, like their cholesterol's not so bad and their blood pressure naman is not too high, and then you can defer. So it's up to you to make the judgment call. But always better um, to give remedies when they're not really on heavy maintenance meds yet, because then you can maintain them at a good level of health and even improve that. Whereas when they're on many years of maintenance meds, their vitality tends to be quite low already. So it's possible, but it just takes longer. Okay, Soham brain and paralysis, 50M. I do have a patient now that's completely paralyzed, can only move the eyes. And I've been giving a lot of these brain and paralysis, all kinds of Narayani mixes, arnica, and all that. And still no improvement because not every case, of course, is possible to be reversed. Also because there was many incidences involved in this particular case. She got a stroke, and then 2 days later, her son died as well. So that adds on to, and of course, because she can't speak, she can't express, she can't even really discuss about, what happened. So I think that's really also what's causing her inability to completely heal. So the family is actually considering giving her new age remedies. And there are new age remedies that will help the soul to decide whether it wants to stay or whether they want to move on to the next life. So there are, aside from arsenicum 1M, 10M, we have been using some of the new age remedies like ether and hornbeam for people in comas, for people in late stage, end stage cancers, for them to help transition already. So there are remedies for that, especially the new age remedies, very helpful for that. So Soham Cancer X, definitely with the Viscom album. And also new age remedy, I give cesium chloride as well. So this just helps maintain them on a high level of vibration as they're going through whatever it is they need to go through, whether they choose chemo or radiation or not at all, just pure, let's say, lifestyle changes, supplementation, or DMSO, CDS. Some people go that route instead, especially if they're fourth stage and the doctor says that chemo may not really help them. So they choose these alternative um, protocols. Then it's nice to support them with these homeopathic remedies. So 14, Soham, chemical poison. These are for people that work in the fields, inhale a lot of insecticides, pesticides. They work in car shops with a lot of carbon monoxide. So this is good to give for people that are exposed to regular toxins, especially chemical toxins. And you can give it with Soham infection if they're already exhibiting, let's say, a cough or pneumonia. You can give it with that. Okay, Soham circulation 3x. I give this to people also with hypertension. This is one of the support remedies. So it helps to circulate the blood. Very good to use also with portal mix. Cleansing 30. So as you can see, these are all mixtures already of previous mixtures. Like Soham has SOS, portal clearing, cleansing mix, elimination, and war. So it's your call whether you want to give the portal clearance on its own or you want to give cleansing, which already has all of these included in them. I normally start with the mixes first, and then I move on, or mixes and Soham. You can combine. Actually, you can combine. Um, it's not unusual that I've given maybe 4 to 6 Soham remedies for them to take in one day, especially if their vitality is really low. I give them every 2 hours, they're taking some kind of Narayani mix just to improve their vitality. And then I start just removing, once they're feeling better, start removing or add a different one. Or give them the indicated single remedy once the picture is much clearer. Diabetes. So I gave this to my mom. Here it says that they can test daily, and if they're actually seeing an improvement, then they can reduce their insulin, they can reduce their medication that they're taking. So I'm giving my mom a mix of the diabetes 30 and the blood sugar balance. And so far, she's being maintained on a very low dose of insulin. And she has not had to increase her insulin as well. And I also find it interesting that she doesn't crave as much sugar. Because, diabetics really crave for sugar. I guess it's part and parcel of the pathology. So you can definitely give this together with their pharmaceutical meds without even having to withdraw it completely. So they can maintain a good level of vitality despite the maintenance meds that they're taking. Okay, so we have digestion 30, which is a combination of liver balance, digestion balance. A lot of the balance remedies are here in this digestion 30. So this is more of a background remedy. I try to resolve it first with, of course, try lycopodium, China, the indicated single remedy, and then this one in the background as well. Soham ears. So this is for ear infection. I gave this to my dog with bad, I think it was a mix of ear mites and fungus. So I gave him ear balance mixed with infection and Thuja 30. Because I tried first Thuja 30 and it wasn't helping. So I gave a series of the infection and ear remedies of Narayani. And within 2 weeks, his ear was cleared. Also, what you can do is to clean the ears with vinegar diluted in a little water. Get a Q-tip and then just clean the ears with that. Oh, ears. Eyes. So this is just as eye support, especially if there's nothing wrong with your eyes yet, but you feel like tired after reading, or maybe, when you turn 40, the eyes always goes bad. So you can give this as an eye support. Right now, I'm taking for the eyes naman, the eye vitamin compound. Only because I feel that I'm always online and my eyes are beginning to get affected. So I don't have an infection, but I do have tired eyes a lot. So I've been taking the eye balance and the eye vitamin compound just as support. So if there was actually a sty or conjunctivitis or an eye infection, this is where you can add um, other remedies like the uh, pterygium infection, the infection mix, even war. If it's a very bad infection in the eye, you can even give the war mix. So Soham female 30. This is support for PMS or menopause. Soham flu. Oops. Soham flu is one of the remedies in the Narayani kit for the COVID. So it's good to have around. And you can add other Narayani remedies. So Soham infection, Soham chest mix. A good remedy for when they have fever and flu-like symptoms. I've also given this to people who have gotten the vaccine and then after the vaccine they have flu-like symptoms. This also seemed to help clear that side effect after. Here, gastro-acute. So all gastric conditions, you can add it with Soham infection, digestion, and pain. So when do I give this? I give this as a support for somebody with chronic gastritis or somebody that's very dependent on PPIs or antacid mix. Before I even ask them to withdraw from these PPIs or whatever they're taking for acidity, I give Soham gastro, I give the Soham digest, I give the digestive mix. So just improve first their vitality before even asking them to withdraw from their medication. Soham hair. So this is for all hair conditions. I guess falling hair, early graying hair. I actually haven't tried it, but it's worth a try. Keeping your hair healthy. So these Soham mixtures are quite safe to use if you have subacute conditions, meaning, let's say, during menopause, there's a tendency for the hair to fall, then you can add it as a support for the falling hair while you're resolving their symptoms for menopause. Immunity 200. So this one I give for anyone with low immunity, no matter what. I've given this to people with COVID. I've given this to people with the flu. I've even given this to people with autoimmune conditions as a support. So it helps them to heal faster. So here we have Soham infection. You can mix this with the mixes for infection. It has staph and strep which are the two main causes of sore throats and ear infections, is the Staphylococcus and the Streptococcus bacteria. So anytime they have immunity issues, like they're always catching a cold or they're always getting a sore throat, you can give this as a support. So same with the infection, Soham infection. Injury, this would be the same as arnica. So this is for muscles, bones, ligaments, tissues. So it has a combination of the mixes that we discussed earlier. Rescue, paramedic rescue, CB7, which is the shock and emotional mix, I believe. Soham kidney, this is kidney support. And then here's Soham life, this is for advanced immunodeficiency conditions like AIDS. And in Africa, this was a very big issue. AIDS was a very big issue in Africa. So I guess that's why they have this remedy available. Soham lung and chest. So this is as a support for the lung and chest remedy of the mixes. Male 200 for prostate issues. Also for libido. Somebody came to me with very low libido. So I gave them SOS and this male 200. Sorry, not SOS, SS. So I combined the SS mix and the Soham male 200. Even if it has the SS mix, there's still some stuff in it that the SS mix doesn't have. That's why I combine also. I look at the ingredients and maybe this Soham doesn't have what the mix has. So it's nice to put it together, even if there's some overlapping remedies. Here, Soham Pain 30. This is for spasm, cramps, trigeminal. I have not tried this, but you can certainly try this. Same with the rheumatism and arthritis. It also is similar to the rheumatism and arthritis mix, this Soham. So it's not unusual that I will give both a mix and the Soham at the same time. So here's the sinus 30, same as the mix for the sinus. And then here's skeletal. So this skeletal mix is also good for osteoporosis, for osteoarthritis, or any kind of degenerative bone condition. So you can add this to the bone mix of, not sure what number, but in the mixes, there's a mix for specifically for recalcifying bones for calcium, whether it's overcalcified or undercalcified. You can add this skeletal mix as well. Here, Sleep CM. This one is the homeopathic version of Rohypnol, Valium, and Phenosleeper. So I guess it's Phenobarb and all of these pharmaceutical sleep aids. And then here we have Soham teeth for teeth decay, mouth and gums, trigeminal mix and war. This is one of the remedies I am using for my never-ending remineralizing of teeth. So I added this bone mix. So teeth, bone mix, and infection are the three remedies that I'm taking for my teeth. And then we have tension MM. So I guess it's similar to stress balance, to calming. I have not tried this as well. So this covers any type of tension, emotional, or stress. Here, throat. This is for chronic strep throat, chronic tonsillitis. This is also a good remedy in the background to help clear. And then uplift. Uplift has barley green, booster, debility, nutrition, multivitamin. I give this to people with autoimmune conditions just to boost and feed their immunity, their ability for their own body to help itself. Okay, so let's take a 10-minute break and then we'll go to the balance and the organo remedies. I think we'll be able to fit everything today. So I'll see you guys in 10 minutes and post your questions if there are any. Yeah, I can see there are some, so I'll answer them when we get back. Hello, hello. Okay, so let's just go through the questions really quickly. Yes, you can definitely take Narayani for vision together with the cell salts. And yes, the Soham, all of these remedies, all of the Narayani remedies are available as master remedies and can be replenished just like your other master remedies. Where to read more about the New Age remedies? You can look for the books by Colin Griffith. They're available on Kindle. So it's called New Age Remedies by Colin Griffith. I think there's 1 and 2. We have all of them available. There's about 50 of them, actually. What does the potency CM mean? So if 200 CH means it's been diluted 200 times and succussed 100 times in between. So 1M means it's been diluted 1 million times and succussed 100 times in between. So you can imagine how strong that is. 10M is diluted 10 million times, succussed 100 times in between. And CM means it's been diluted 100 million times. Correct. 100 million times and succussed 100 times in between. But a lot of this already done by machine. Their machine succussed already. There's not actually somebody there. At least I don't think so. The ones from Helios I know are machine succussed already. If you take a remedy and feel worse, is it the wrong remedy? Sometimes you can be releasing a symptom. So it all depends. If it resolves in a couple of days, it could be a release. But if it's going on for weeks, then it's definitely something you need to address. Is there a remedy for pterygium growth on the eyes? Yes, there was a mix there for pterygium. It was one of the mixes we discussed. Taking cell salts, calphos 6CH. You can still add the bone remedies. Yes, definitely can add. Someone for high cholesterol who doesn't want to take statins, which the doctor is recommending. For the statins, arnica is one of the best blood thinners to add. But I would also add the hypertension Narayani mixes, the blood circulation, maybe the portal mix as well, because it's important for people with hypertension, high cholesterol, to keep their blood circulating. And then we also have cholesterinum available, the no sode for high cholesterol. Uric acid, from your kit, Urtica urins is a good remedy for uric acid as well. Okay. I guess the last one was a typo. That was your cat. How cute is that? Okay, so let's go back. Let's share. So I really want to finish these two today. Okay, so these I'm not really going to super discuss them in great detail. These organotherapy mixtures are not homeopathic remedies per se. They're not even no-sodes. As I mentioned, these are vibrations made by that Dr. Tansley. And these are remedies that you can add on to any of the Soham mixtures and any of the mixes itself, because these are vibrations that are not homeopathic. So it's really good for whatever organ that it is meant for. Like, for example, the first one is for blood conditions. Anyone with chronically low platelets or anemia or problems with marrow, spleen, which is also part of the immune system. So you can add this for anyone with these kinds of conditions. See, for anemia. Also, after having taken a lot of um, pharmaceutical medication, you can detox their system, so to speak, or detox the blood with this. So this helps to revive the tone of blood as well. So you can just even start with somebody with very many issues. You don't know where to start, or you're worried about causing some kind of aggravation. Just give them blood mixes. Just start by boosting, give them uplift, give them immunity, give them blood mix. Don't try to address their conditions yet. Just boost them up first as a good starting point. Okay, so the second one is for more of adrenaline, histamine, thyroid. So these are endocrine. This is an endocrine support. So thyroid hormones, histamine hormones, so for allergies, and then adrenaline. So anytime that they have poor endocrine, or you notice that their issues are around the endocrine gland, meaning they have underactive thyroid, overactive thyroid, or they're always tired, or they've been on a lot of steroids, then you can give this as a support for that. So 3 is more for bone and marrow. So for calcium, phosphorus balance in the body, the parathyroid is actually what helps with the calcium and phosphorus balance in our body. So people with osteoporosis, people with over calcifications as well, that means the hormone in their parathyroid is off. So you can give this as a support for the parathyroid to help balance the calcium in the body. So used for injuries, disorder of bones anywhere. So anytime that there's either lack of bone or too much bone, you can give that. OM4 is more for the cervical part of the body. So this is the upper part of the spine, the cervical part. So this is not the cervix, meaning in the sacral area, but more of the cervical disc. So if they have spondylosis, stiff neck, chronic stiff neck, anywhere that there's a blockage in that part of the spine, shoulders, you can give it as a support for that as well. For me, I find that frozen shoulders, especially chronic frozen shoulders, homeopathic remedies are really as a support, but fascia release is really the best way to resolve frozen shoulders. And actually, a lot of muscle injury, look into trigger point therapy and fascia therapy. This really, really helps. And then you can just support it with thiocinaminum and these remedies to loosen the scar tissue. And anytime the scar tissue in that area, anytime that we have an injury, scars form on the fascia. It may not be a scar that we can see, like a keloid or anything, but inside, because we're not moving the arm or we're compensating, the fascia clumps up, and that's why we have lumps. And that's why we can't fully extend our arms or our connective tissue, is because the fascia has already tightened. That's why trigger point therapy is very important for releasing those areas. OM5 naman is for any vein issues, arterial issues, bad circulation. So you can add this to portal mix. You can add this for people with hypertension or a lot of cholesterol already that's hardened in their aorta or anywhere in their body. You can definitely add this. So also for varicose veins, ulcers, um, hemorrhoids, and you can add pituitary gland. I think we also have this because the pituitary gland helps with circulation as well. OM6 is for the colon. So people with constipation, colitis, Crohn's disease, any kind of issue in the rectal area, any issues with passing stool, you want to energize and increase the vibration in that area and support it, you can give OM6. 7 naman is more for heart. So the coronary arteries, the endocardium, pericardium, myocardium. So these are all the cardiums or the different areas of the heart. So give this to people that are prone to heart attacks or any kind of maintenance for heart attacks. So we see this together with people with hypertension, cholesterol. Of course, the circulation affects the heart, right? Because we need circulation. The blood needs to circulate and it goes through the heart chambers. All of these cardium areas are the different chambers of the heart. So you can add this OM7 to people with heart conditions, hypertension, circulation conditions as well. Anyone that's in danger of a heart attack, you can give this. Aside from, of course, let's say digitalis, cactus. These are all single remedies for the heart or organ remedies for the heart. OM8 is more for the pancreas. So pancreas, whether they have diabetes, very good for people with either hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia. Because this means that they're not able to metabolize sugar properly in the body. So you can help support this organ, the organ of the pancreas, with this OM8. And same with OM9 as well. It's also for the pancreas, the duodenum, the vagus nerve. So this is more for digestion. Any digestive problems, gastritis, pancreatitis, you can give both OM8 and OM9. OM10 is more for the ears. So auditory nerves, the cochlea. So people that are hard of hearing or older people that lose their hearing, they're shouting when they're talking to you, you can give this to them as well. So there's already some element of nerve damage or people with that need hearing aids. You can give this to them. Also Meniere's disease. I know there's a mix for Meniere, but this one you can also give for people with tinnitus, ringing in the ears. OM11 naman is for eyes. Optic nerve, retina. So give this to anyone that has anything wrong with the eyes, whether it's macular degeneration, cataract, so on and so forth. For as long as there's something with their eyes, you just want to energize the eye area, you can give this. So anyway, it says here naman what the uses are for. So beginning cataract, detached retina. OM12 is more for the hair and also for the thyroid because sometimes when our thyroid is off, that's when our hair starts to fall. So baldness, dullness of hair, falling hair, thinning of hair, dry hair, hair that doesn't look healthy, you can give OM12. OM13 is more for trigeminal nerve pain. So any nerve pain or people with chronic nerve issues, sciatica, neuralgia, tics, herpes, you can give this as well. 14 is for small intestines, for the small intestine. So also diarrhea, um, people that have had typhoid and haven't recovered, hepatitis and haven't recovered, any kind of bowel problems, you just want to energize the intestines as well, then you can give this. 50 naman is kidney support. So kidney tissue, the wrong spelling, ureter, glomerulus, which are the tiny capillaries in the kidney, and also the posterior pituitary gland, which balances kidneys. See here, it regulates the amount of water passed by the kidney. So any kidney malfunction, you can just use it to tone. So these organotherapy remedies are used to tone these particular organ systems. So they're not really something that can reverse, but it definitely is an important support together with the mixes, with the Soham remedies. OM16 is cartilage, connective tissues, joint issues. So for those of you that are taking bone broth or collagen because you have already, your joints are thinning in the knees or anywhere else, you can give this. So it helps to keep the joints lubricated. That's the word for it. 17 would be gallbladder, liver cells, liver tissue. So cirrhosis of the liver, jaundice, uh, they got hepatitis A, B, C, so on and so forth. Also, people that maltreat their liver by drinking, taking drugs, not eat or too much pharmaceutical medicines. This is a good tonic for the liver and the gallbladder. People also that have no gallbladder, you can still give this remedy because then it will help support the other organs that need the gallbladder. So in Western medicine, we take out the appendix, we take out the gallbladder, we take out the spleen. Some even people even take out the thymus or the tonsils, thinking that these are not important remedies, important organs. But all the organs are connected. And sometimes when one organ is missing, then it'll cause an imbalance in the other organ. So you can still give this even if they don't have a gallbladder. OMS 18 is lumbar support. So that is the L part of our spine. L1, 2, 3, 4. So lower back pain, sciatica, arthritis. This is one of the remedies I'm giving for my dad who has ceramic, his lumbar. He has 2 ceramic vertebrae already. So I'm giving him this, I'm giving him bone, all of these support to strengthen the lumbar area. And he has more good days than he has bad days with regards to his back pain. So 19 is more for lung, all lung complaints, especially people that have TB, emphysema, COPD, smokers, asthmatics, anyone that needs to have their lungs energized and tonified, then you can give this. So these organotherapy remedies can be used in conjunction with the chakra remedies. The chakra remedies, also the Narayani remedies, are specific for certain areas. Like chakra 1 is for the sacral area, so it's anything to do with physically, it has to do with bowel movement and rectum, etc. But then you can also read about the esoteric aspects of the chakra 1, which is grounding, um, stability. So you can also use the chakra remedies for support together with the other remedies if they have issues in the physical area where that chakra is located. Because I don't think that we'll have time to discuss the color remedies, the gem remedies, the meridians, and the chakras. Maybe that can be next year already. So for Om 20, it's more for the cerebellum part of the spine. So it's already higher in the brain stem. So hypothalamus, thalamus, motor nerves, cerebral artery. So this is good for people with nerve conditions like paralysis or tremors, tics, Parkinson's. Whether it's over or under, like Parkinson's would be um, too much movement, whereas it can also be for paralysis type. Okay. Also for aging, strokes, poor memory, you can give this together with the Soham remedy for the brain, or the TOPS remedy for poor memory, especially in older people. So Parkinson's also, as well as slow movement and partial paralysis. So Om 21 is more for spastic. So this one is, if 20 is more for flaccid type of paralysis, whereas 21 is more for spastic type of paralysis. So the difference is one has lack of tone, where this one naman, 21, is rigid. You know, it's stiff, it's rigid. Om 22 is more for the male genitalia, testes, sperm, of course the pituitary glands, testosterone. So as a support for low sperm count, sterility, even low libido. So you can give this for that. So it's more for male. Whereas 23 is sinus support. Mucous membranes, sphenoid sinus, maxillary sinus. So any kind of nasal, postnasal, allergies, hay fever, you can give this as support remedy. For 24 naman, it's the female version of 22. It's for follicle stimulating hormone, uterus, endometrium. So more of female hormone support. So anyone with fibroids, growths, menopause, PMS, so any disorder, female reproductive area, you can support it with the OM remedies. 25 would be optic nerves, retina, whereas 26 is more of the cranial nerves. So 25 and 26 are more for the eyes. Both can be for the eyes. One is for the muscles and the other one is for the retina. OM 27 is for connective tissue, ligaments, cartilage, muscle tendons. I'm also giving this to my dad just to help with his back. 28 is immune system. So anytime that there is autoimmune, or you just need to boost the immune system, or they have an illness that keeps recurring because of low immunity, you can give them OM 28. 29 is also for the eyes. So it's a good remedy for the macula lutea. So macular degeneration. This is the remedy for that. And then also with macular degeneration, there's a lot of pressure on the eyes. That's why you need the circulation remedies. People get macular degeneration because of high eye pressure. It's like hypertension of the eyes. So 30 is also connective tissues. You can give it hand in hand, 30 and 27. 31 is lumbar, sacral, nerves naman. So repairs and rebuilds the nerves and discs in the lumbar sacral region. So same as OM18, which is also lumbar. This one naman is lumbar sacral. Says to use it together. 32 is dorsal area of the spine. 33 is the brainstem. You can also give 33 anytime they do a spinal tap or anytime that hypericum is needed for any spinal condition. You can also include OM33 for that. So all spinal injuries, you can give that. 34 naman is specific to Parkinson's. So you can use it with the tremor mix, and then you can use it for the spastic, with the area for spastic muscles that we took up earlier. And then they're just here. So pressure pointing and reflexology should be shown. See here, even they say that reflexology and pressure point, anytime that there's muscle injury or back injury, shoulder injury, it always helps to add pressure or trigger point therapy. Okay. So the OM remedies are really background support for use with the Soham and the mixes. And now here we have the balance remedies. So here the balance remedies are similar to the organ support remedies. Okay, some people are trying to get in. Let's just see. Any questions? Combining with these remedies, and it's no longer classical homeopathy. But I think I veered from classical homeopathy a while back already. Classical homeopathy is always important to learn, but now we're realizing that it's very hard to just find the one similimum because of all the multiple issues going on in the world right now, from the toxins to EMFs, food, BPH, plastics, and even hormones in the water, hormones in the food. There's so many layers now, and a lot of times it's hard to differentiate. So we use Narayani remedies to boost, support, clear layers, move a case along, and then a lot of times it will clear the picture for the indicated classical one remedy to give. How long can Narayani remedies be taken? Well, the organo support remedies, the balance support remedies can be taken for quite a while. The mixes, it usually says there's instructions anyway. Like any other remedy, it's give, and then if it gets better, taper off and then stop. So you can give as much as 3 to 6 times a day. And then as they're improving, you can wean them off, taper it off. And then you can maintain it with the organo remedies and or the balance remedies. So that's how I usually do it. I always start with Soham and mixes. And I can throw in an organo remedy here or there. And then as they're getting better, I wean them off the mixes and then keep them on the organo remedy, the balance remedy. And then if I can see a indicated single remedy, I add that as well. Okay, here. So there are 23 balance remedies. These are used similar to the organo remedies. These are all very good background remedies because they're combinations actually of a lot of the previous remedies from the homeo and also the organo. So anemia is for borderline cases of anemia or any time that they're low in energy, or they need vitality, then you can give this. So it says here, 3 times a day until the patient is feeling vital. If they're very low, start with 6 a day, reduce to 3x, and then to 1x. So I hope that is that can answer your question. So blood sugar is good for people with diabetes. It also stimulates the pancreas. So it's a mixture of homeopathic remedies and organo remedies. So these balanced remedies are more of boosters and background remedies. So here you can give if they're very tired or low in sugar, diabetic, exhausted. And then here it even says what other balanced remedies that you can give. Yuppie flu. Yuppie flu is chronic fatigue syndrome or mononucleosis. So depression balance, it has all the remedies for depression, the top remedies for depression, as well as back flower remedies. And here it also gives you other, let's say, like blood sugar, because people with depression would also have some other issues wrong with them. And what's nice is it gives you another perspective of where else you can give support for these people suffering from depression. You know, it's like when your blood sugar goes down, you become hungry and angry. So chronic depression can also affect people in that way. And then there's fear balance. Depression can be given together with depression balance if there's an etiology of fear or trauma. There's heart balance. This is a good remedy to give for people that are on maintenance medicine for the heart. So you can give it as support. Also gives you other remedies to add like blood sugar or circulation balance. And then hysteria balance. It's like a fear remedy as well. So this is more like an ignatia state of acute hysteria. Stress balance. You can give it with the Soham stress remedy as well, especially people, the etiology of never been well since stressful situations, or they're just in this chronic state of stress from overwork, or maybe they live with a family member that just stresses them out every day. Then this is a good remedy to boost them, because you know when you're stressed, there's too much cortisol, your hormones really become out of balance, and then that affects the liver chi, the kidney chi. So you'll see how something as ubiquitous as stress can really affect how the organs function. Constipation balance. So here it says, used in conjunction with liver balance, it helps 50% of the people with chronic constipation. Let's see. Digestion balance. See, I don't really give, I mean, from my experience, having been using the Narayani remedies, if I have acute indigestion, I've tried digestion balance and it hasn't worked. I still go with the mixes. I've tried the acidity mix, or of course, if I know lycopodium, so on and so forth. But I will take digestion balance if I have a period where my digestion is off. You know, maybe I ate something and my stomach has been bad for a while. So for the acute part, I don't tend to give the balance remedies. I still give the mixes or the indicated single remedy, of course, if you know it. The balance remedies I just give as a blanket remedy to boost them in between their acute phases. So fever and infection balance. Sometimes if you don't know what to give for a high fever, you've tried aconite, you've tried belladonna, this is where you can start adding the fever mix, flu mix, and the fever and infection balance and see if that helps. Kidney balance. So all kidney disorders. Again, sometimes you may find that these remedies will help but not stick, meaning it'll take a condition to a certain level and then it'll stop. So this is where you'll have to look at what is the indicated single remedy for this particular issue. Liver balance, allergy balance. So it's like I feel like I'm just repeating myself. These are all support remedies. So the lung balance you can use with the chest mix. You can use it with the Soham. Respiratory mixes. Same with the sinus. And so on and so forth. So if you were to choose what remedies, I'm not going to go into all of this anymore, huh? Because these are all just really support remedies. We'll have about maybe next few minutes. So if you were going to choose what remedies you need to buy first, I would start with the mixes. So you can start there because the mixes, for me, act like the most over the counter of the lot. Meaning if you didn't have time to choose the individual remedy, you can give the mixes first. But if you're already taking chronic cases, then this is where you can add the organotherapy mixes, the balance remedies, because you're already doing other things, especially people that are practicing other modalities like herbs, giving herbs or acupuncture or massage. You can give these organotherapy mixes and balance mixes as a support to what you are already doing. Okay. Maybe we have a little bit more time to discuss. That, 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 that. You all have the Narayani book, no? The PDF. I'm trying to look for my copy. What? Don't tell me I deleted it. Let me look because we might have time to discuss quickly the meridians and the. I just have to find where it is. Narayani PDF. Here it is. Here we go. So you all have this. I think this was all emailed to you the last time. So here, this one is divided naman into conditions. So for example, if you have acidity, then you can take the mix. If you have acne, so this is more of a repertory. Allergy, if you have dysentery, anti-smoking. So this is another perspective of looking at it instead of how it's listed and how I discussed it. So here you can just look for the condition and then the appropriate mix, Soham or OM to give. Okay. Here. So here we have the chakra remedies. So the base chakra would be corresponding to the adrenals. So the adrenals will be in charge of energy. It will be in charge of kidney issues. Um, it can be in charge, if you're familiar with the esoteric, it's grounding. So aside from just looking at this, you can also refer to Dr. Google if you know what the particular emotional issue of the person you are treating. Like if you think, oh, this person needs some grounding, and then you look at their issues and they have issues with the kidney, they have issues with that area, that part where the chakra is, then you can give the chakra remedy for that. For chakra 2, it's the sacral chakra. So it's mostly reproductive issues, genital issues, urinary issues as well, and even the lumbar area. So it's more of the reproductive, that side, from the belly, between the belly button area and the hip. That's the sacral area. So if you needed to energize that part, or you could see that there's some issues associated in a person associated with that area, then you can give the chakra 2 remedy. Chakra 3 naman would be more of pancreas, liver, digestion. So that's the belly button area. Also issues of esoteric would be issues of fear, anger. So these kinds of conditions can be connected to this area. They're saying that even cancer is in this area. Skin can also be in this area because it's connected to digestion. Chakra 4 naman would be the thymus. So thymus is immunity. So if they have immunity issues, autoimmune conditions, then you can support them with this chakra 4. Hyperthyroid conditions, these are all autoimmune issues. Here, thyroid, that's chakra 5. So thyroid issues, parathyroid issues, recurring throat conditions, respiratory conditions. So chakra 4 and 5 have a lot of issues that are crossing over with each other. 6 naman is the pituitary gland. So sinus, postnasal drip, hay fever, also anything that has to do with the pituitary gland, meaning that they are slow to develop, or they can have some delays developmentally. Also, any kind of brain conditions, nervous system conditions, then you can look at that. Crown chakra is the pineal gland. So they say a lot of us have our pineal glands are calcified. That's why people become sheeple. Some people subscribe to that. So this one is more for brain issues as well. I would give this for manic depression, anxiety, schizophrenia. This would be a good remedy to support that area as well. Here, so you also, those that got the whole set, you would also have the gem color healing remedies. So I won't go into it. So you just have to look for the conditions na lang that correspond to the particular color. So this ruby red is a good remedy for elderly people as a boost. It's also good for anemia, arthritis, bones, constipation, low blood pressure, marasmus, which is wasting away, cachexia, when they can't assimilate anymore, weakness, paralysis, because red is such a fiery color. It can really boost people with very low vitality. Yellow naman is more for hepatitis, jaundice, colic, gallstones. It's also quite yellow is considered a hot color as well. Green is more of a cool color, so it cools down conditions. So if you knew Chinese medicine in terms of yin and yang, this is where the color therapies will come in very helpful, including the meridian remedies. If you knew a little bit about TCM, and you don't have to really study it in depth, you can just go to AcuPro Academy on YouTube and just learn the basics of TCM. They'll teach you yin and yang, they'll teach you the organ connections, and you can already begin to prescribe these remedies just from what maybe it's about 5 to 7 videos, the basics of traditional Chinese medicine. And from there, it will already give you a good overview. You don't have to know the exact acupressure points, you just have to know the basic principles of that. So here I won't go into detail. You just look for what conditions you need to resolve, and then you can definitely give this as a support remedy. These remedies I give maybe 3 times a week if I'm giving them, for, let's say, for example, I'm giving them something for kidney, to help with chronic kidney issues. Then I would add, let's say, pearl orange, which is a good kidney remedy, good for kidney issues, about 3 or 4 times a week just to boost their vitality in that area. So that's how I use these remedies. And then here we have the gem combinations. So these are combinations of all the previous remedies already, and it'll give you what issues to work on. Like, for example, OGIV is orange, green, indigo, violet. And this is good for kidneys, diabetes, high blood pressure, and an overall tonic. And then you can have just all the colors, Vibigor, and it's a tonic for very weak people. Okay, here the meridian. So the new 44 crystal remedies, we don't have that, but I don't really know much about it anyway. So here are the meridian remedies. So you can use heart meridian for heart problems, constipation, insomnia, irritability, palpitations. Lung meridian for, of course, any kind of lung issue, breathing, but also who knew that you could use it for reviving an unconscious person, but I guess it acts like carbo-veg. Pericardium. So this is a good overall circulation remedy. So for very old people, weak people, very congested people. Stomach meridian, high blood pressure, sinus congestion, toothache, bladder meridian. So these issues would make sense once you know your organ systems in traditional Chinese medicine. So it really goes hand in hand together with homeopathy. Wow, so I guess we don't need a third class. Okay. Yes, Joanne, what are your questions?
Thank you. Okay. Based on this one then that I have.
Yes.
Okay. Number 1, page 51. Kidney 30CH Soham includes breakdown kidney balance. So does this mean for the patient who takes kidney Soham, they don't need to take any more kidney balance? Kasi kasama na sa Soham.
Actually, sometimes I do give it together anyway. Especially if it says that give together with kidney balance, then I usually follow the instructions under it can say. But my rule of thumb is I always start with the mixes and the Soham, and I give the balance remedies when I'm just looking for balance.
Okay.
To maintain them already at a level where I'm happy where their level of health is. That's been my rule of thumb, but other people can use it differently. I mean, I'm also just relatively new to these remedies, so we all have to
Mhm.
share information on how we're using it.
Mhm. And also on kidney 30ch Soham, it's 30ch, while kidney balance is 50 m. So does it mean that the kidney Soham, the kidney balance in kidney Soham is 50 m?
Yes, it
Pero
does.
30ch kasi yung Soham eh.
All the balance So what is your question?
Okay, I'm on page 51
Okay,
and it,
okay, I think I understand. My
okay.
understanding is that they mixed it all together and then that they succussed it to 30ch or 30ch.
Yeah,
That's
but
my
that's
understanding.
50 m. You cannot bring
Meaning
it
they
down
got
to
a 50 m, they
and
put it all
sarcastic.
together, and then they
Oh,
made it, they brought
okay,
it up to
okay.
30ch.
Okay,
That's
thank
my
you.
understanding of that.
Okay.
But then I don't
And
really know. Any other?
and
Yeah.
sorry, yeah, and for the mixes of 50 m, does it mean all of it is 50 m? Oh,
If
like
it says 50 m, yes.
okay.
All of it is 50 m. But don't
Oh,
get scared of 50 m. In the beginning, I was worried at 10 m,
mm,
50 m. But I'm finding, and it says somewhere in the book, and I think it might say also in that book that you have, that these remedies have a life of its own when mixed together. So you can't even think of them as individual remedies. But once they're made, they were all put together and brought up to that certain potency. It's an entity in itself. Parang it becomes its own remedy that doesn't work the way the single remedy would. And I think it's there
mm-hmm,
in that book as well.
mm-hmm.
That it says that
Okay.
there.
Next question. I'm on page 54. Liver balance 50 m. So it says here, use in conjunction with kidney balance. So can you take them all together or like 1 hour gap, like when you
I
give
would space
remedies?
them throughout the day,
Okay,
just to give each remedy a chance to work its vibration through the body.
like what, an hour gap, like two,
Yeah, an hour
two
gap,
and
or I'd
three.
say like take I usually give them a schedule. Take kidney balance 8, 12, and 4. Take
Okay,
liver
okay,
balance 10, whatever and whatever. People seem to
okay,
work better with a schedule like that.
okay. And next question, sorry, ang dami. So sa cataract compound 10 m, can we give together with cataract compound B, which is 50 m? Is that too strong?
I
I mean,
don't
if
find these 50 m strong at all.
okay,
Yeah, the liver balance, the balance remedies, actually, I find them very gentle. Not
okay,
strong enough for me to use during acutes. That's why I don't use them for acutes. Because
but
even if it's 50 m, I find them more of a good background remedy, honestly.
support, like
Yeah,
support.
even if it's 50 m.
But can we give these also, Denise, to people age 60 and above? Because
Yeah, I give this a lot to older people, the
oh,
balance remedies.
oh
I
yeah,
find
but
them quite mild.
oh, okay, okay, for the balance remedies. But if we talk about normal remedies and 50 m, it's we take note that the old people, we don't give too much of this very strong
The
potency, correct?
non-Narayani remedies, if in 50 m, the
Mm-hmm.
mega potencies I give only for emotional issues. If it's physical issues, I find 200 and below, 1 m max and below work for physical. I only use 10 m, 50 m, 10 mm for emotional
Say for
conditions.
example, this one, the cataract, pwede siya 60 years and above.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely can be.
And okay, and for I have a question with carpal tunnel syndrome. I've
Mm-hmm.
read in the booklet it's just the supportive tissue. Yun
Carpal
lang.
tunnel is the connective tissue
Okay.
in the hands.
Oh, so
So the fascia
oh, okay,
contracts.
connected.
Yeah, the fascia in the hand contracts from repeated use of the computer, so it hardens. So
So
it's all
this is
connective
connected,
tissue.
no?
Aside from the remedies, definitely massaging
Okay.
will help.
CTS connected. And one more question. I have a question pala. Can we make our own mix? Like say for example yung sa scar, I have all the remedies there. Can I make it?
Before, when I didn't have the Narayani remedies and I only had the book, I used to make my own.
So
Why
I
not?
can.
Yeah, you can. Why not?
Yeah, like for the colds, because I have all the remedies there. So I can make
I
it.
used to do that when I didn't have the remedy kit yet, but I only
Okay.
had the book.
But what if one of the remedy on the mix is a potency lower than the rest? Like say for example, sa colds, I have allium cepa,
I don't think it makes a big difference.
isa is 30. Okay
Like
lang?
for me, if I don't think it makes a major difference.
Is
I
it
mean,
the
it's
same
always
as
worth a
tissue?
try. It's always worth a
Okay.
try. I mean,
And
right
is
now
it
I'm not limiting anyone, including myself, with any dogma or rules.
okay, with the rules.
Yeah,
And is it the same for the tissue salts? Because I saw in the mixes there are tissue salts. So it doesn't like I have
same.
6x and I have 30x. All right, thank you.
Welcome. So Margie has a question. Can you give too many remedies for one issue? Uh, Personally, I have given a lot of remedies for very grave conditions, but I try to focus it on one condition at a time. So, for example, I had somebody with very bad skin outbreaks, um, Steven Johnson's plus glandular condition, breakout, like herpetic breakouts in the skin. So I focused all my remedies on that particular issue. I gave immunity mix, I gave infection, I gave war, I gave I didn't give any drawing mix or anything like that. So I think I mixed about 5 or 6 for that particular issue. And within 3 weeks to a month, there was really a great 50% improvement. But I don't mix too many issues at a time, even with myself. If I'm going to do, let's say, hair, I focus just on remedies for the hair for a couple of weeks. So you can give it a chance to work. But you can throw everything for that condition together as long as it's the same remedy. Okay, guys, so I guess that's it for now. You'll be sent the recording plus the other handouts that we had today. I'll have Jack send them to you tomorrow. And just post in the Homeopathy Philippines chat if you have any questions about the Narayani remedies. But I hope now all of you have the confidence to at least try a few out if you haven't tried yet from your single remedy kit. So thanks so much for being here and
Thanks so much.
have a good rest of the week. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise.
Bye. Good to see you
Right.
Bye.
all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Welcome. Bye.